On this web page, I have some comments listed down at the bottom. To the left of each comment is a timestamp. It's actually a date and a time. And I'll be writing front end or client-side code in JavaScript to take this date and time and tell me how many seconds, minutes, hours, or days ago this comment was left at. Alternatively, you can write server-side or backend code that runs on the web server that makes that determination. Both are correct, but I'll be doing the front end side of things. So this will be taking place in the person's web browser, and this is the source code for the web page that displays these comments. The timestamp is actually displayed in this span tag, and this is PHP code. Going back to the web page, these are the span tags that says it was published at, and this is the timestamp that we want to convert to the number of days ago or the seconds ago they left the comment at. So the first step is to locate all these tags and the contents inside of them. So I'll need to locate any HTML document tag that actually has a class of published at. So after the document is loaded, I would need to add a load attribute to the body tag and set that to a function. I'll call it onLoadHandler. And I'm kind of sticking to a more procedural way of doing things and not making it camel case, which is another programming style. In the head tag, I'll make another script tag. And I'll declare the onLoadHandler. I'll call a function call show all time difference descriptions. It will accept a class name of published at. In this function, show all time difference descriptions, I'll accept an argument called class name. And I'll just write some code to locate all of those, and I'll declare a variable called elements. And I'll ask the HTML document, get me all of the elements by this particular class name, which happens to be published at. And if I want to do an alert just to see if this works on elements of length, it'll give me a JavaScript error. So I'd have to go to Tools, Web Developer, Web Console. And it says that that is not a function because it is actually plural. It's going to be a fun video of debugging. Hopefully not. So it gives me the number 4, which there are 4 span tags, 1, 2, 3, 4, that have a published at class name. And what I want to do is go through all of those and figure out how many seconds ago or minutes or hours or days ago they left that comment at. So I need to run this through a for loop where it'll go through all the items of elements.length, and I'll increment index. I can't use a for each construct because technically elements is an object called a node list. And if I try to do a for each style construct, which is for var index and elements, it'll start picking up all these property names. But if I iterate it over this way, which is kind of more a classic way, and try to index it as an array, I don't get all those extra properties. So just to target the contents of each of these, I can call a inner HTML property on each element. So on elements of index.innerHTML, I can do an alert on it, and I'll only do this for the first element because it would get annoying if I were to do alerts on the other three. So if index is 0, we'll do an alert on it. And it gives me this timestamp value. Now you'd think to actually parse the date, it gives me back a MySQL timestamp, and to parse the date in JavaScript, there's a function called, well, there's actually a method, it's part of the date object, which is a static method, which means you don't need to instantiate or create the object. You can just do a date.parse, and you would give it a date string to parse, and what it would do is it would return you the number of milliseconds since a date that's referred to as something that's called the Unix epoch, which is a beginning reference point. Happens to be January 1st of 1970 at the stroke of midnight. And it will give you the number of milliseconds that has elapsed since then, which is a very large number. Doing a refresh on this page, I get not a number, which is not what I expect. That's JavaScript's way of trying to tell me is that it could not parse this MySQL timestamp, which is a problem, but I can go about doing this another way. In comments.php, there is a function in here which I retrieve the comments from it. And I can actually convert it to the Unix timestamp